If the dead could send one final message to the living, what would they say? Shigofumi is a series where we see that the dead can send one final message to the living, and at first I didn't really know what to think about this series because I expected it to be a series of short stories where people go through these emotional breakdowns whenever they find that one last message from someone who was so close to them that died, or also someone who has happiness because they finally have closure into that person's life because of the letter. But there's much more to the story than just these series of short stories. Shigofumi is 12 episodes long, but if you're watching the DVDs, then you'll find 13, because the last episode is actually a one-episode special that I highly recommend to anyone out there in case you haven't seen that 13 episode. When I was watching the DVDs, I didn't even realize that it was just 12 episodes in a one-episode special, because that last episode, I felt that it was so integrated into the story that it's basically part of it, and that I see the series as being just 13 episodes instead of 12 with the special. My impressions on Shigofumi is that in the beginning, on the first disc, the first 2 episodes was one story, and then the next 2 or 3 episodes was another story, and sometimes you would get a story where it's just one episode, and I just assumed that a lot of these stories were just one-shots and they weren't really related to each other, but they actually are, and this isn't really a spoiler or anything, and I felt that it would be something that I would have enjoyed the series more if I had known beforehand. But aside from the stories being connected to each other, there is one deeper story that lies amongst all of them. When watching Shigofumi, we see that the messenger, the one who delivers these letters, she is this very emotionless character, and I just figured her to be this background character. She's there only to tie everything together, because all of these stories really have nothing to do with each other, but in fact I was wrong. The first disc is mostly these short stories, as where the second disc is all about her story and her fixing the things that went wrong when she was living. So all of these characters' individual stories within Shigofumi cover a wide range of emotions, and they all cover a different topic, and some of them can be pretty mature. There are some topics which cover bullying, or child abuse, or sexual assault, and murder. There are different types of stories here, but also there are a few happy stories as well, where people finally have closure into someone's life. So I've had Shigofumi on DVD for a while now, and I always neglected to watch this because I expected it to be just 13 episodes of sadness, and I really expected this to be one long melodramatic sob story, basically, which I like if I'm in the mood for it, but when I started watching this, I was mistaken by that because, like I said, you do get the feeling of happiness and closure for some of these characters if you really get into a story that deep, and also, aside from that, there's a lot of comedy here. There's a lot of mystery as well. The only complaint that I have about Shigofumi is that this is 13 episodes. There are so many things happening within the series. There's smaller short stories here. There's one overlying story. There's characters that are connected to multiple stories. There's a lot of plot twists here, and also there's a bit of mystery and a little bit of comedy as well. There's so much going on here that I feel they really did a great job of cramming it into 13 episodes, but I really wish that it was a little bit longer. I would like to see more short stories in this universe of Shigofumi, but for the most part, what I would want to see with these extra episodes would be more time with the main characters. With Fumika, who is the servant who delivers the mail from the dead to the living, I want to see more of her. I kind of want to see more of her life after everything, and also I want to see more of things in between all of these major events, especially for some of these other people that you only get to see for 1 or 2 episodes. Now, that's a personal complaint of mine. Your experience with the series may vary. 13 episodes might be perfect for you, but of course, I liked this, so I wanted to see more of it. I liked the characters, so I wanted to see more of them. And that type of feeling I get with many anime, so it might just be me. But another thing within Shigofumi is that I noticed that there's a plot hole. So these characters here that deliver the mail, Fumika is one of them. You can see her here and also in the clip that I have, but they deliver the mail from the dead to the living. They don't just deliver letters, they can deliver other things as well, as long as they have that stamp on it. Now, my thing is, a lot of people have died, and I'm sure that a lot of people out there want to give that one final message to someone, but the people who deliver this mail, they are relatively unknown in the world. Nobody knows about them unless it's someone that you see one of them within this series. And also in the series, there's only two main characters, or there's one main character and there's one supporting character that deliver the mail. You don't really see a whole lot into that universe of people that deliver the mail of the dead. So I felt that that was a bit of a plot hole, that they were so mysterious that nobody knew about them, and only this one section of a few select people in Japan have this privilege of reading that one final message, despite the fact that they're supposed to be delivering it all throughout the world. So moving on to the presentation, the animation here is honestly nothing special. It's not bad by any means, but this came out in 2008. It's not bad, but it really does nothing to impress me. It just looks like any other anime from 2008, so no big deal there. And as far as the audio goes, this has no dub, which isn't a problem for me either, but some people might have a problem with that. Honestly, it's only 13 episodes. Just suck it up and read the subtitle. It's not a big deal. Now, as far as the music goes, if I'm not mistaken, I didn't look this up, but the intro to this sounds like it's made from the same people who did the Dot Hack Sign opening, which I really liked as well, so I did also enjoy that opening and also the ending. So one really strange thing happened to me when I was watching Shigofumi. I got halfway through with the series, I was getting into the second disc, I had to go out and get more popcorn, and as I was out there walking through the parking lot, I was thinking about if it's possible for things like this to actually exist, and what a coincidence, I bump into one of the messengers there, and I help her up, I pick her bag up and everything, I help her out, and she's on her way, but she left one letter behind. And I picked it up. I wasn't going to read it in case I saw her again. I could give it back to her, but I doubt that'll happen. So my curiosity got to me, and I had to open it up and read it. And I'll read it to you here. So this is what the letter says. Dear Hank, this is your wife, Judy. It breaks my heart for me to have left this world so early and leave you all alone, because I know that you must be torn up inside because of this, but I just want you to know that I love you dearly, and I want you to continue with your life and try and find happiness, even if you have to move on and find another woman. That's very sweet of her to include her husband's well wishes for him and want him to move on and be happy, but the letter continues. So Hank, there's one very important thing that I need to tell you that you must know for you to be happy. One thing that I kept to myself for many years is that, Hank, you really need to clean your balls. They smell horrible, and it's an embarrassment for me to go out with you because whenever we're seen together, I can see people looking and staring and whispering to each other, and to be honest, Hank, you're the talk of the neighborhood. Whenever we get together with our neighborhood meetings, people just talk about how bad your balls smell, and I know you're not going to find a new woman that way. And to be honest with you, a few years ago when I lost all of that weight, it wasn't because I went on a diet. I said that it was, but unfortunately that was a lie. The truth was, whenever we would sit down and eat together, the smell of them would get all in my nose, and everything I eat would always taste like cabbage and cat farts. So I really didn't care to eat any of it, and I lost a lot of weight. So hopefully you're not offended by this, and you take it into consideration, because that's one thing that you need to do to have a happier life, and to move on. Anyways, so that's her letter. Talk about airing out that dirty laundry. Anyways, I'm not going to read any more of those if I find them. But, so anyways, if you've seen Shigofumi, let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.